Okay, welcome back to the Magic Realm on Tabletop Simulator. So, last time we finished up a game. I didn't know what was really going to happen during that game. Obviously, some things were, like the fights. I demonstrated some fights outside of the game just to explain things. But other than that, it was sort of just... I went through a game and showed you how it might go down. A very simple game, nothing complicated going on whatsoever, but, well, nothing excessively complicated. Basically as basic as we could get for the most part. So that was all well and good. We're going to up the ante a little bit here. We're going to introduce a couple new things in a new game. One is we're going to be playing a character that uses a ranged weapon by default. The Amazon had an advantage when using a ranged weapon, but actually getting a hold of one can be a little tricky and might not always be what you want to do. So it's kind of an odd advantage, but the character we'll be playing today starts with one and is good with it. So she will be using it to potentially deadly effect. The other thing that we're going to be looking at, hopefully, depending on how the game goes, the plan is we're going to be looking at hiring natives in order to accompany us or go off on their own and fight and loot for us. So, right. I've set up another game here. I've set up the map. This is just another randomized map. I don't know where anything is. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know even where we're going to start. I can't tell you that. So we'll get to that. The character we're going to be playing is the Woods Girl. Yes, I know, a very evocative name. This is not the elf. The elf is an entirely different character. That's the elf. The elf is also good with bows and is also allied with the wood folk and things like that. But the elf gets access to a bit more magic than I want to mess around with right now. Interestingly, though, the Woods Girl does get a tiny bit of magic. And you can see one of her 12 chits is not a fight or a move. It is a magic. And she is going to start with a spell. So, the Woods Girl. She is light weighted. She's weighted light. That means that pretty much any attack that hits her is gonna kill her. You know, unarmored. She is very fragile. So you need to be able to avoid ever being really directly attacked unless you get some armor on you. But the problem with armor, of course, is that it's medium, which means that we can't really carry it by default. So she's going to depend on hiding and using her bow when possible, when necessary. She's going to depend a lot on running because she has access to a light 2. A 2 move speed movement. That means she can run from most things in the game. Most things in the game she can run from. If we go over here to the big monster board, the chart of appearances, and you look at all the movement speeds in blue, you'll see 4s, 3s, 5s, 3s, 4s, 3s, 4s, 6s. She can run from almost everything except for 2 things. One being the imp, which will just curse her. And the other being the dreaded octopus. Even she cannot run from the octopus until he flips over. But then flipping over means that she's grabbed. In which case, you know, not so lucky. So yeah, but aside from that, she can run from everything. So that is very important. And if you're going to be playing the Woods Girl, you know, that's going to be at the forefront of your mind is every time is, can I kill this without trouble, without any sort of trouble, or am I just going to run away? Now, the benefit of hiding often is, especially with a bow, is she could fire a shot off with no risk of reprisal, no risk of being attacked. She can fire off a shot, and if it fails to kill the target, then she can just run away from it. you know, hit and run sort of things. There is an optional rule. Normally, when you attack while hidden, you become unhidden. There's an optional rule called the ambush rules, which should be in this booklet. Advanced and optional rules, ambushes, page 183. If you'll permit me to be extra nerdy for a second and just confirm this. I wish there was a better way to look up the page. But yeah, ambushes. With the ambush optional rule, you can use missile weapons or spells while hidden and possibly retain your hidden status. So after you specify a target, so after you pick a target while hidden, you'll roll on the high table. And if you roll a success, so a 70% chance most of the time, you'll remain hidden regardless. So if you play with the optional ambush rule, characters like the Woods Girl become much more potent and much more insane. But we're not going to mess with the ambush rule. You can do that on your free time. All right, so she's quick, she's light, she's got a ranged weapon, you know, hit and run. Her two advantages, tracking skills. She rolls 1 die instead of 2, and I told you that's always a big advantage whenever you can roll only 1 die instead of 2. Whenever she uses the hide, the meeting, or search, well, in one of the 6 tiles labeled woods. So this effect kicks into play for hide, meeting, and searching in any of the tiles, the 6 tiles with the woods in the name, except including the deep woods, which is not actually a woods tile, it's a mountain tile. But it's specifically 6 tiles labeled woods. And I would not have thought, based on that text, it included the deep woods. I would have thought, okay, that applies to the ones that have the woods symbol on it. Which is most of the woods ones, except the deep woods. But if we look here, you can see that there's 1 wood labeled there, 1 wood there, 1 wood there, 1 wood there, that's 3. 1 wood here, that's 4, and 1 wood here, that's 5. And they said the 6 woods tiles. So yes, deep woods is included in that. And that's the most important one. This tile right here is the one that she wants to investigate first, if possible. You know, she wants to get to the deep woods eventually to see what's there, because if there's treasure to be had on the deep woods, she's going to work to get it, because that's really where she excels. The other woods tiles, like I said, none of them can contain treasure. But being able to search on the search tables, any search table, well, in the deep woods, means that if there's treasure there, not only does she get to search for it, she gets to, like, search for the lair with 1 die. She also gets to loot whatever treasure is there with 1 die, which is very nice. So, deep woods, priority. But the other benefits are good as well. Being able to hide with 1 die in any of the other woods is great. And the meeting table 1 die, that is going to come into play. The only meetings that you'll really be able to have in the woods tiles are at the campfires that might show up. I talked about that before. So a lot of these characters can appear at the campfires, and being able to roll with 1 die to maybe buy from them or to hire them is pretty good. The most important one to the Woods Girl are the Wood Folk. She gets to start with being allies with the Wood Folk, which is as high as it goes. So she can hire them for the cheapest price. She can buy the treasures from them for the, you know, potentially the best price. And they're very nice because they sell the medium bow, which I don't even know if we can use the medium bow. No, I don't think we can use. There's another character that wants to buy the medium bow from them. The Amazon, I guess. The Amazon would want to buy it. But still, being able to hire the Woods Folk is very nice, because that's just a bunch more archers to go alongside her. Okay. Her second advantage is Archer. instead of rolling 2 dice when rolling for a missile attack with a bow, you instead roll 1 die. This is very good, and that has a lot to do with how bows and crossbows work in Magic Realm. They aren't just a weapon like normal, but unlike melee weapons, whenever you attack with a bow, you have to roll on the missile table. And the missile table is going to potentially change how much damage the attack does, because it might hit vital spots, or it might just sort of glance off, or things like that. So, as you can see here, you have a high chance, when normally using a bow, of it decreasing the damage level by 2 to 3, which is a lot, because normally the bow only starts at light damage. You'd really never use it unalerted. You'd always want to alert your bow. So you'd want to flip it over to this side, where it does light damage at 1 speed, which is very fast, and it's got very long range, so it's great. But light damage with 2 sharpness. So on an armor, it can kill an unarmored heavy target by default, but that's where the missile table comes in, where it's likely going to get knocked down 2 or 3 levels, and it'll become just a light attack or a medium attack and just do nothing. Being able to roll 1 die instead of 2 on this and taking the higher result means that you have an equal chance of no change, +1 harm, +2 harm, as you do with, the negatives. So it's always going to be a gamble no matter what, but that's a huge benefit. Because if you're fighting an unarmored heavy target, you basically have a 50-50 chance of killing it, which doesn't sound great, and it adds a lot more variability to attacks, but yeah, there you have it. Okay, the rest is just her relationships. Like I said, she's allied with the woodfolk, she's friendly with the lancers, who she might also want to try to hire. They can appear on campfires as well. She's unfriendly with the soldiers of the house, and the warlock. She's enemies with the Baskars, the raiders, who can appear at the campfires just alongside the lancers and the woodfolk. So there is some risk hanging out at the campfires. She gets to start at the inn or the house. Remember, every character can start at the inn. Starting at the house means she gets to be a little isolated. She does start next to the soldiers, who don't really like her, so I don't know why she's there, but it is a possibility. And then she starts with the light bow and 1 charm spell. That's what that symbol is. So if we go over here, you can see the 8 different types of spells. You've got Type 1, Holy, Pagan, Elven, Elemental, Demonic, Summon, Charms, and Malicious. These are 8 different types of magic. Each category, each type has like 4 or 5 different spells. Demonic has 6, Summon has 7. Okay, Malicious has 6. So anywhere from like 4 to 7. These are the 5 charm spells in the game. The Woods Girl can pick any one of them. So we're gonna learn magic here. We have Sense Danger. This is a permanent spell. It's powered by purple magic. So that's what that is in the upper left. It's powered by purple colored magic, and it's cast on any player character. Yeah, it's cast on a player character, and this lets them record an extra alert phase. So if this was cast on Woods Girl herself, whenever it was active, he could record an extra alert phase each day for free. Now that sounds great. Here's the problem. Not so great. And the thing is, when it says permanent, what that really means is that the magic is permanently attached to you, but it's not active every day. In fact, most of the time, all of the time, unless you do something about it, this will be dormant. It will not actually be energized, as they call it. So most of the time after you cast this, you won't actually get an extra alert phase. The only time you'll get that extra alert phase is when you utilize a source of purple magic in order to energize it. Okay? So it costs a purple magic to cast it on a target. And then that target needs a source of purple magic every day in order to energize it and reactivate it. If you have a steady source of purple magic, that can be great, that can be fine. If you don't, it's essentially useless. There are 5 different colors of magic, and you can see that on over here on this symbol. There's white, gray, black, gold, purple. Sort of an odd collection. And there's a few different ways. There's a few different sources of magic in the game. One is on the 7th day of the week. On the 7th day of the week for throughout the month, a different type of magic will be abundant. It will be available in every clearing in the whole game, across the map. So on the 21st day of the month, across anywhere you are, you can just activate your clearing as a source of purple magic. Okay? On the 28th, it's gold magic. On the 14th, it's gray magic. And on the 7th, it's any magic. Okay, so that's a source. We saw treasure, I think, at some point in the past. There's certain treasure cards that act as a source of a certain color of magic. So those can be useful. If you find one and can utilize it, the odds of this are slim, but you know, you can always trade with other players. You know, there's always room for that. If you enchant a tile, which we probably won't really, we might get into, but I don't think so. But if you enchant a tile, so you basically cast magic, not on a spell, but on a tile itself that you're on, and you flip it over, then every clearing in that tile will serve as a magic source. So you can see if you enchant the Pine Woods here, each clearing functions as a source of gold magic. If I were to instead enchant the cliff and flip that over, each one would serve as a source of purple magic. So, you know, you can get into that. The main way that most magic using characters, except the Woods Girl, are going to power their spells is by using their own magic chits, their own magic tokens. The Woods Girl does not have access to this, so let me grab the elf, I guess, here. Hold on. Let me just get some magic. There, okay. So, a lot of characters, spellcasting characters, that have multiple chits, they can flip over some. They can enchant some of their own magic. So instead of being able to use it as like an action to cast a spell, they can instead use this as a source of magic. So here you go. To cast a spell, you need both a chit, a magic chit, such as this, that's active, that can cast that type of magic that you need, and a magic source. This right here can function as a gold magic source. So these are I mean, this one, you know, they're identical for the most part. So you would take the time to enchant one of them so that in the future you could use it as a gold magic source. And then it doesn't like get destroyed or anything, it just gets fatigued, and you can restore it and keep using it over and over. It's time consuming. You know, magic is not just something you're going to be spamming nonstop as a spellcaster. But magic using characters can often just supply their own magic that way. Our character cannot. Our character has one thing, which means we can cast one spell using it, but our source of magic needs to come from somewhere else, an outside source. So sense danger, not so useful, because even if we did find a source of purple magic, we need a constant source of purple magic, or a reliable source, which maybe you could find, but it's not something you want to start with. Protection from magic. This requires gold magic. All spells and curses that affect target are nullified, including those being cast. Target may still be affected by indiscriminate spells. Better, if we had a source of gold magic, we could nullify a curse or some sort of other spell that was on us, some sort of spell effect. But again, it's just none of these spells are going to be that great. None of these are going to be that reliable or fantastic. It's just like a little taste of magic. Peace with Nature is another permanent effect. This can be cast on player characters. This can be cast on monsters. Well, actually, it's cast on a player character. It affects monsters and denizens, natives. So warning and sound chits: do not summon monsters when when target finishes turn. Sight chits and dwellings are affected by this spell, but basically this means that someone with this spell effect, if they was powered for the day, they could wander into practically any tile and they would not summon most monsters. If it was the lair or something, the lair might still summon monsters, but for the most part, this makes you relatively safe from sudden attacks. So that's pretty good, but again, we would need gold magic to utilize that. Premonition. Target may choose when to take their daylight turn. This is useless for us. Okay, this is really a multiplayer spell, but basically, when you're playing with multiple characters, multiple people, remember, turn order is randomized. Premonition, if you cast it at the start of the day, this means that you get to pick exactly when you want to take your turn. Useless for us. So that leaves control bats. If you're in a clearing, if you're surrounded with a bunch of bats, you can cast this spell to take control of all of them. And this is powered by any color magic. So if we get some sort of source of magic and we're with bats, we can make it happen. Now, the odds of this are slim. I'm not planning on us controlling a bunch of bats, but you never know. Now, I should note that normally you won't, especially at a table, if you're playing this just on a tabletop with the physical version, you wouldn't actually take the card for the spell, because the spells are already seeded across, here. They're in unknown locations. You're not going to start picking up spells and looking around. You instead look through the book at the list of spells, and you pick which one you want, and then you write down the text in these boxes, and you write down the effects. But we're playing on TTS, so I can just make duplicates and put the spell card there. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. So let's get the ball rolling. I could start at the house. I'm going to go ahead and start at the inn because, no one else is starting at the inn, so it doesn't bother anything. I don't want to mess around with the unfriendly soldiers. Let's finish setup. And we're good to go. So we're starting at the inn, which is right here with the rogues. We are right next to the deep woods, so that couldn't be better. Whereas if I would have started at the house, I would have trekked across the borderlands. It would have been a little dicier, but not too bad. Let's see here. Chapel needs to go there. Otherwise, that is fine. Yeah, remember, all the dwellings have to connect to the borderlands somehow, so that's fine. All right, we are at the inn. Now, we could, well, we could try and hire the rogues. Well, actually, the rogues and the... Let me back up. Let me formulate what I want to say here. When you hire natives, for most of the natives in the game, you have to hire the entire group. You're paying for the entire group. They're a pack. They all travel together. If I want to hire the Lancers, okay, I'm hiring this entire stack of Lancers. I think they have horses. Yeah, they each have their own ponies. So there's 4 of them, right? There's 3 of them, and then there's like their squad leader. They don't split up. You can't hire them individually. So if I want to hire them, I have to pay the full price for the whole lot of them, which is a little dicey. I mean, that's 2 gold each. That's the base price, not even getting into the multiplier. Same thing with like the wood folk. You know, they're 2 gold each. There's only 3 of them, but still, you know, everything gets multiplied. It's tricky. The 2 exceptions to this are the rogues at the inn and the Order of Knights at the chapel. Those are individual. So if I just want to hire 1 rogue right now, I could try to do so. They're only like 1 gold base price. So even if I get 4 times for, you know, 4x price, it's still not that bad. And the rogue isn't, this swordsman here is not a beefcake. Let's be real. He's got medium vulnerability, so he can't take anything above a, you know, a light attack. And his attack is okay. He's got medium 3 with a sharpness, so he's got pretty quick attack that could kill an unarmored heavy target. You know, just cut it down. His other side, light 3 attack. His maneuverability is a little faster, but yeah, he's not great. Let's be real, he's not great. But he's there, he exists. Let's start with a trade. Let's start with a hire. Just, you know, just so I can show you how it is to work with hirelings. Then let's move to Dark Valley 2. And let's do 2 higher phases in there. Maybe we'll get try to get a better price. All right, that's our turn. Let's roll the monster prowling, even though it does not matter whatsoever. We're not leaving the tile. Okay, it's a 1. And let's do our trade action. So we're going to be buying, and we're going to be looking at their cards. They have the workhorses here, but we are not interested in a workhorse. We're interested in these bad boys. Alrighty. This is completely useless. Okay. So these are 2 treasures that both contain spells. In order to actually utilize those spells, which our character would have very limited capabilities of doing so, you need to read runes. So that's part of the search activity. Reading runes and learning spells. So you can see spell spellbooks, artifacts, these are all seated with what exact spells are located in these items. So the beast pipe's right here. This is that spell that it's mentioning here. It's not, I mean, it is randomized, but it's randomized at the start of the game, so it's all predetermined now. The Scroll of Nature is right up here. It's got a stack of 4 spells there you can learn. So once I, sites, certain sites like the statue, the altar, the shrine, they also have spells that you can try to learn when you're on them. But once I acquire one of these things, I can then spend a search action wherever I am to try to read runes. Read the runes that are on these artifacts. I can try to read the runes that are on the beast pipes in order to learn what this spell is and activate. So if you go over to the read runes table, if you roll a 6, you get nothing. It's a wasted action. If you roll a 5, however, you're cursed. You roll on the curse table, which is shit. You hate it. If you roll a 4, you get to awaken the spell, which means you get to know what that card is. So you can know if it's even worth continuing and risking getting cursed and stuff. And if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, you get to know what the spell is, and you get to add it to your spell book. So then from then on, you could actually cast it. All right. So for us, these are completely useless, but I guess it lets me continue the whole spell education thing. Additionally, doing that contributes to your victory thing if you pick usable spells. It has to be usable. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what that means. I've never tried to go for a magic character yet, so I can't tell you exactly what that means. There are usable and there are unusable spells. I guess usable spell is something you have a magic chit for. So for the Woods Girl, the only usable spells for her are the Charm School, which is what she started with one of the Charm spells. I would imagine that's what it means. It's not just any spells, because otherwise, like right here, if I just sat here, I had my 5 VP into spells, I could learn 5 spells from these things. So it has to be usable. So that victory point thing is only for spellcasters, really. All right, we didn't pick our victory requirements. Let's go with 3 great treasures, 1 fame, 1 notoriety. We'll just give that a shot. I don't tend to like to go for gold, but I think really, if you're going for gold, you probably don't want to put too much into great treasures, because great treasures and stuff like that tend to be worth a lot of money. So I don't know, let's just try that. Who knows? Okay, so I have to bid on something, so we'll just bid on a workhorse, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be purchasing it. I might just piss them off. Okay, so we did piss them off. We have trouble, so now we get to roll on the unfriendly thing. Which best case, it's like, oh, shit. All right, we rolled 6, so we're blocked. So that means the rest of our turn is completely worthless. And that's the end of the day. So now it's the evening and we're with these rogues, this poor woods girl surrounded by these rogues. So now we have to roll on this table again because we're with these natives. And they might fight. There you go. So now we got neutral again. There's trouble. Which means we roll again on the unfriendly table. And there you go. Now we're battling the rogues. Yeah, and turn 1 you can be utterly wiped out. Because now we're fighting the entire stack of rogues. I didn't really want to move the inn, but... Whoops. Now, obviously, this isn't the end of the world. But there you go. So it's going to be us versus a group of 8 rogues that are out for our blood. Actually, it is kind of the end of the world. We're kind of fucked. This is basically the end of the game. Yeah. And that's primarily because of this guy. You see, he's got a speed of 2. That means I can't even run from him. You have the run thing is you have to play a move faster than the fastest opponent on your board. So there you go. I can't run. I'm unarmored. They will utterly decimate me. And that would be the end of the game. Obviously, we're going to pretend that this didn't happen, but there you go. That could happen. Welcome to Magic Realm. I think if you were playing with, like, at a group... I think you can just make a new character and just come back in at, like, the inn with, like, a fresh character. I think you could even play as the Woods Girl again. You'd probably just, like, miss the first day. I think that's how it works. Obviously, whenever I die in a game, I just start over, but... yeah, so that was nice. Let's pretend that I just got a no deal. I pretend that didn't happen. But that's why, once you look at the cards, you have to make an offer on something, because you might piss them off. And you might get blocked. But alright, let's pretend it didn't happen, and let's try and hire them. I don't know why I would want to after they were so mean to me, but let's pretend I wanted to hire the first one. The one that's on top of the stack. Right here. That's not right. No, I put the stack on backwards. Fuck. This guy is the one we're trying to hire. These guys go here. There we go. This guy right here. Basic bitch swordsman. He's trying to make his way in life. He's valued himself at 1 gold. He is selling himself short. There we go. We got a roll of a 2, which is pretty good for a neutral. That means 3 times the gold value we can hire this bastard. So that is 3 gold. Let's spend it just for the sake of showing you what it can do. So this guy, this swordsman right here, he's not a squad leader. He's not a hired leader, which means the only hired leader are the ones with the star on them. They're expensive. So this guy can't operate on his own. He's not going to be going out into the world on his own to fetch stuff for us. He's just not that competent. So what he's just going to do is follow us. He's going to follow us across the map. Where we go, he goes. If we hide, he hides. And if we fight, he will fight. All right? So, that was perfect. That was good. That's about as good as you're going to get. For the second hire, we're just going to cancel it. You don't have to roll on that. You can just skip an action if you don't want to do it. And then we're going to move to the Dark Valley 2. All right, that was the first day. Second day, we're going to move into the Deep Woods. So we're going to go to Deep Woods 2, then 3. Then we'll hide, and then we'll search. Because if I could find this path, I'd be happy. So let's write that down. Move Deep Woods 2, move Deep Woods 3, hide, search. Remember, we're in a woods tile then. So we get to both hide and search with only 1 die, which is very nice. All right, we've got serpents and demons prowling today. We're going to move here. We're going to hide first, so as long as I don't roll a 6, we're golden, we're hidden. All right, nothing can hurt us now. And now we're going to search, and we're going to try to locate. I think it's a locate. Let me double check. It's a hidden path. So that is actually a pier that I'm trying to roll on. All right, I rolled 6. I rolled a 6, so nothing. All right, never mind. Let's flip over these chits, see if there's even any treasure here. The Horde is here. How do you like that? Stink. It's stinky in the woods. So nothing is activated. Nothing is summoned. We're fine on that front. I could spend all day trying to find this path, so we're not going to mess around. We're going to move 3 times, and then we'll hide. So Deep Woods 5, 4, 6. Move Deep Woods 5. Then you could just put 4 and 6, and then hide. And really, truth be told, for real shorthand, you would just put 5, 4, 6. because where we're standing, there's no way you could move to any other 5 from where you are. So we know that 5 means Deepwood's 5, but whatever. Okay, let's see what's prowling today, see if we're going to have issues. We got spiders and the imp. So spiders are going to be popping up, which is annoying, but maybe we can deal with that. We might get into some combat. I'm technically not hidden. Let's hide. All right, we are hidden. That's the end of the turn. Stink is going to activate with its purple symbol. So stink in the mountains. We have 1 heavy spider. Now, we can theoretically kill this, right? If all goes well, we can theoretically kill this. So let's just see how it goes. I mean, this is a good combat to try out. So first thing is that we're hidden and our dude is hidden. Unfortunately, natives can't ambush. They can't get the free attack that we can by coming out of hiding. So this is the first round is just us shooting at the spider without the spider being able to attack. All right. So the first thing is our action. Remember, you get an action before things kick off every round. You can either run away, you could cast a spell if possible, or you can alert your weapon. To alert the weapon, you have to play a fight chit that's a faster speed than all of the faster speed than the fastest monster that's assigned to you. Here's the thing though, when you're hidden, there is no monster assigned to you. We are just shooting at this unassigned monster. He's just like floating off here. He's not even aware that we exist. He's not assigned to us right now because we're hidden. So that means that since there is no monster assigned to us, we can play any fight chit. And that will alert our weapon. Speed doesn't matter. So that's great. That also goes along with hiding, but usually when you're hidden, you're not going to run away, but sometimes you will. Okay, so we can alert our weapon, which is great. So now it attacks at speed 1 with light damage plus 2 sharpness. He is not armored, so our base damage is heavy, which is enough to kill him. All right. We're also going to undercut him, so positioning does not even matter either. I'm not even going to bother rolling for positioning because it just doesn't matter. What does matter here, and what will determine if we one-shot him or not, of course, is the missile table. If we roll a 3, 2, or 1, he's dead. Because we're already at the heavy level, so no change or +1 or +2 means he's dead. If we roll anything else, it will decrease to below heavy, and we won't kill him. So Woods Girl gets to roll 1 die. Every other character would have to roll 2 dice. Meaning that the odds of you rolling a 3, 2, or 1 are fairly slim. I want to say like 20% or so, or something like that. But for us, we have a 50-50, which is not too shabby. Obviously, a melee character might be able to just slash this thing down, but having an attack speed of 1 and being able to always undercut cuts out that random probability. Sorry, let's roll the dice. We got a 4, so -1 level means that it does not do enough damage. And here's the real bummer. The real bummer is that since we technically hit him, we undercut him, so we hit the target, it just bounced off. But whenever you hit something with an alerted weapon, it becomes unalerted, so we lose that benefit. So that was our ambush round. Now, if we were playing with the ambush rules, we might still be hidden. Actually, we probably would still be hidden, and I could continue to just pelt away until this guy died, because he would likely die before I became unhidden. So you can see how potent the ambush rules could be, but we're playing normally. All right. So now I'm unhidden. My rogue here is unhidden. So Oh, I think I did have to roll for his tactic change. So let's see if that happened, because that could influence things. All right, he doesn't change tactics. All right, so now what we're going to have happen is that my buddy is going to lure the monster to him. He's going to basically taunt it. And then I'm going to be in the background firing arrows. This makes a lot of logical sense. Because just from a pure weight standpoint, he's medium, I'm light. This spider right now would do a light attack, which means that the swordman could take it all day. He loves it. He lives for it. Whereas I would die instantly. Big difference. So he's going to lure it and he's going to tank him. What that means that we have to do, though, is we need to bring in a separate board. This board is not what we use. We need this. The confrontation chart for denizens. So this is what you use whenever, basically whenever hired characters are involved in the battle. So I think if he was deployed, which is different, if I was tanking and he was assisting, the spider would be on my board, but I think we would put him here, and he would roll to reposition. And if his was on the same row as the spider, then he would hit. But I don't want to tank. He's tanking, which means that the spider is being lured over to his board and is coming here. Actually, it would be like that. Because the spider is the denizen and the swordsman is his target. So technically this is the spider's board, I believe. I'm not 100% on this, but this will function fine. I think it's all on the up and up. So the spider is the denizen. He is targeting the swordsman because the swordsman lured the spider over. So if there was a little target shit, I guess. It's not really necessary, but the swordsman is his target. That means that I can attack with impunity. I can attack without a care in the world. The spider will never... I'm not a concern to the spider. I'm not involved with the spider. The spider, notably, is not assigned to me, which means that I could now, if I wanted to, I could run away. I could run away for, without worry. And more importantly for this, I can alert my weapon by just playing any fight shit. I'm pretty sure about these rules. There's a lot to keep track of, but I'm pretty sure that's legit. So now, the spider is going to reposition, and the spider can potentially change tactics. The swordsman will not. The swordsman will not be changing tactics, and the swordsman will not be repositioning because the swordsman lured him. So it's odd, but the swordsman is basically fighting on his terms. So he will never reposition, he'll never change his tactics. If the natives were instead deployed, so if I was tanking, for example, if I was tanking and this swordsman came to assist me, the swordsman would then reposition and potentially change tactics randomly. So since he's doing this, he's on his terms, we can actually pick which side he fights on. We get to pick. And this is kind of important because right now, the swordsman has a medium attack that could kill the spider. Medium with a sharpness is heavy on an unarmored target. So this way he could kill him, but he has a 5 move, which means that the spider will undercut him. Now, in this example, the spider in his current form can't actually kill him, so we don't even care that the spider can undercut him. But if the spider flips, because the spider might flip, then he's on Tremendous. Now, that's a Tremendous 6, which means he won't undercut him, but he could kill him. Fortunately, the swordsman would kill him first, so that's all fine. If we flipped it over to the other side, we then have a light attack with a sharpness, which is only medium damage. He wouldn't get undercut because his speed is a little bit faster, but that doesn't matter because he wouldn't actually kill the spider, and he can't be killed by the spider in this form anyways. So by and large, we want him on this side, and we're glad that he won't be randomly flipping around because we want him to be stable. We want him to be stable on this side. So the swordsman could really just handle this fight on his own. I don't even need to really be involved. I'm just being involved so we can continue to show you how arrows work. All right. So let's just go with this. I'm not going to reposition, and I undercut the spider no matter what. The swordsman isn't repositioning, and he, well, he doesn't undercut him, but if he lines up with the spider, he's going to kill him. So we have a good odds of ending this in one round. Which is good, because if nothing happens for a second round in a row, I think the combat's over. So hopefully something happens. All right, so that's all set. Let's roll our repositioning. We got us a 6, so that means he is moving up. The swordsman won't be getting the kill. Now we're going to roll for the spider's tactics to see if he flips. He doesn't, so that's just is what it is. Which is good. It's fine. He's going to undercut the swordsman, potentially, but he's only doing a light attack, so it just bounces off the swordsman's medium body. But we get to do our light bow. So again, our light bow. So same thing here. 50-50 odds of just killing the spider right now if we roll a 1, 2, or 3. There you go, 3. So that's no change to our damage. So light, medium, heavy with the 2 sharpness. He's unarmored. He is dead because he's a heavy spider. There you have it. Alrighty. That was a successful kill. Let's see. Now you can see how valuable the swordsman is in just that instance as a very minor case, because if I just had to tank that spider, I probably wouldn't even risk it. Really, I'd run away, because if he hits me, I'm dead. I'm dead. You know, if my weapon missile thing fucks up and he hits me, I have no armor. I mean, he couldn't undercut me, but there's a good chance that he just hits me and I die. So that's a little risky, and it's just a little spider. Whereas with the swordsman, you could see there was absolutely no way that the spider could touch the swordsman, and it's a guaranteed kill. And so now I get 3 notoriety and 3 fame. So yeah, hired natives can be very beneficial, very useful to certain characters. All right, good tutorial there. I like that. That worked out. And now we've cleared the spider here, so next turn we can just loot. We can just loot. Well, not loot yet. We have to find the horde. But all right, we're going to be doing a hide, search, search, search. And all of that's going to be done with 1 die. So let's do the prowl. See if we're going to get anything else spawn. All right, we got spiders again, so we can do that fight again. Let's hide. Technically, we're not hidden. Now we're hidden. All right, we're searching now for the horde. We got a 5, which remember is nothing. We're looking for a 1 or a 4. So second. Yeah, all right, we found it. So we can tick off the horde. And now we can roll our loot. So now we're just rolling 1 die to loot the horde. It's a 6. So go over to the horde. And we got 9 cards here, so 1, no, it's a 9th, 8th, 7th, 6. And we found ourselves the Shoes of Strength. So if your weight is light, which ours is, you can use this. You roll only 1 die for hide. Now, we already get to do that in woods areas, but this lets you do it everywhere on the board, which is very nice. It's worth 2 notoriety. You can sell it for 7 gold, and it always functions as a light 3 movement with no asterisks. That's a decent little find. It's okay, it's beneficial to us, but it's not so crucial that I wouldn't mind selling it if it came to that. All right. That was our 3 rolls. Now we get another spider prowling into our realm. So let's just do the same thing. So again, we don't really need to even set it up because we know how this fight's going to go, but let's alert our weapon using whatever chit we want. We're hidden, remember, so we get the free ambush here. We don't have to worry about repositioning because we're undercutting. All this comes down to this first round is a 1, 2, or 3. It is a 6, so it's not a kill. So then, same thing. He's going to draw him here. He's going to go here. We're going to go here with an alerted weapon. All things just as they were. We'll reposition the spider. It's not a change, so actually, regardless of my roll, the swordsman will kill him. But maybe I want to kill him. Maybe I like the glory. No, I don't kill him. So the swordsman kills him. It doesn't matter. I get the notoriety and the fame either way. However, there is a difference when there's multiple enemies involved in the battle. Because remember, if you kill multiple enemies in the same battle, the second one is worth twice as much. The third one is worth 3 times as much, so on and so forth. But that bonus only counts if you as the character kill them. If I have hired natives kill all of them, they're each just worth the base value. So that's another 3 and 3. There you go, ticking up slowly but surely. So that, I mean, we're getting that's a perfect example of like, that is a predetermined fight. In our situation, we don't even need to set that fight up because it's all guaranteed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, so it's great. All right, let's do it again. We got plenty more to loot. Hide, search, search, search. Prowling today, maybe we'll get another spider. I mean, we want the spider, all things considered. Serpents, demons, so nothing is going to spawn. We're perfectly fine. So we don't even need to hide. It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect anything for a solo player, but we're hidden still, and we're going to loot. You can see why having treasure on the deep woods tile for the woods girl is very good. Having the horde here, I can just pick this thing dry until the flying dragon shows up. But there you go. We get the top card. It is the Bejeweled Dwarf Vest. Now, this thing is a great treasure, of course. It's got the red border. It's a large treasure, but that doesn't really matter. This lets you intercept thrust attacks. Gives 23 gold when destroyed by attacks equal to or greater than H. So if you have this equipped, if you have this active in your active pile, and something attacks you in the thrust category, this will intercept it. I think you'll still end up taking the wound. I think this means that this will just block attacks of medium or less. I believe. I'd have to double check before I try it. But then if it hit with a heavy or tremendous attack, it will be destroyed, instantly giving you 23 gold. So you don't even have to go sell it, which I guess is potentially good. If you do sell it, it's worth 27. Carrying it is worth 5 notoriety, and selling it to the soldiers will give you 27 gold and 10 fame. But here's the thing. It's a medium. It's a medium weight object, which means the woods girl can't carry it. Uh-oh. But hold on. This dude is medium. He can carry that shit, I believe. I mean, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think it works like a horse. I'd really have to double check. And it's like, where do you even go to look? Where do you even go to look to, like, find something about that. I don't even know. Belongings, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think he can carry it, but it's like who knows? Who really knows? I'd have to really dig around and find. I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I could have sworn that's the case. I know that obviously squad leaders can carry shit because they can go out into the world and find it. I know horses can help you carry stuff. I would think that this guy can help you carry it, but I don't know for certain. I can't tell you for certain. But for now, we're just going to say he can carry it. Because, I mean, come on. That makes sense, right? Yeah, maybe you don't want to trust your little hired swordsman rogue with your Bejeweled Dwarf vest, but surely he can carry it. All right, second loot roll. We got ourselves a 2, so we're taking the second card from the top, which is this one. Sacred Grail. Ho ho ho. This is another great treasure. So that's our 2 right there. 2 out of 3. It's a magic source for white magic, which means that if we're carrying this, or if it's in the same clearing as us, you know, if the swordsman is carrying it, we can use it as a white magic source, meaning we could cast control bats. How exciting. So its weight is medium, so the swordsman will have to carry it. It's worth 12 gold if you sell it. Carrying it is negative 25 notoriety, so that's bad. But selling it to the order at the chapel gives you 50 fame. That's massive. We don't really need that much fame, but damn. But the notoriety penalty is kind of rough, so we might end up selling it anyways just to lose that. Assuming we find another great treasure. Speaking of which, third roll is a 5. There's 6 cards, so that's the second from the bottom. The Elven Slippers. Activated if weight is L, which ours is. So, worth 5 gold, 2 notoriety, and it acts as a L2 chit that cannot fatigue and is worth and has no asterisks. So that's our best move just here for free on an item. Very nice. But again, you know, heavy characters can't even use that. So it's, you know, it's not like an unfair thing. Most light characters are going to have fairly quick moves like that. So it's just really good, but it's not broken if you find it and you're a berserker or something. All right, that's that day. Let's go again. We're running a little long here, but I just want to exhaust this layer before we kick off. I want to exhaust it or until the dragon shows up. So 1 out of 6 chance. Oh, that was close. But all right, we got Giant's Trolls, which is actually worse, I think. But first, let's hide. All right, we're hidden. Let's loot. We got the 4th card down, so second from the bottom. Whoops. Which is the Gripping Dust. Weapon stays alerted at all times, even hit. I believe that's a potion. So I think that's useful for like 1 day. Your weapon will stay alerted the whole day, which could be really nice, but probably not for us. So that's that will just be sold for 3 gold. Now, one thing is when you take an item, it either becomes active or inactive. If you make an item active, you have to put it face up on your board, and it becomes public knowledge that you found it. If you put it as inactive, it goes face down, and no one knows what exactly you found. Which could be, you know, again, it's sort of a competitive game, but it's also could be a cooperative game if you're playing with other people. So it just adds a lot of possibilities. All right, for now, we'll put that and we'll just keep this as active, and we'll do our second roll. We could start missing here, but we got the top card. The Glimmering Ring. This is not a great treasure. It's just a large treasure. It contains one type 3 spell. Which isn't useful to us. It's worth 10 notoriety, just holding it onto it. And you can sell it for 15 gold. Yeah. Right. So there you have it. And our third and final loot here is a 6, which is nothing. So there's 3 more treasures in there, which, you know, we have decent odds of getting 1 or 2 more, but it's the end of our turn. Gray is prowling, so that's 4, which means that this is going to be Stink Mountain, which is a giant. So here we have a giant. This is a tremendous giant. Tremendous damage needs to be done to this giant to kill him, which I could theoretically do. My swordsman could not. He will never be able to. He is very slow. He's got a speed of 5. But if he hits you, you'll either die instantly because of his heavy attack, which is pretty rough. But if you don't die, he then flips to this side where if he hits you again, you just instantly die no matter what. He also has a club. The club basically acts as another enemy on your board, except that it can't be targeted. So not only can the giant hit your fleshy bits on his row, the club could also hit you on that row. So it's very dangerous. And the club obviously is no lightweight either. It's got H6 and it has a reach of 8. So it might outreach you as well. So yeah, this guy is pretty rough. Here's the thing though. For the first round, since we're hidden, I could just, well, I have 2 options really. I could just sit here and continue looting because chances are decent that I'll get the hide on the next turn anyways. And then I can continue searching in peace. And if I fail the hide and I get blocked, then I can just run away anyways. Or I could just try and take a pot shot at him. And I might kill him. And then if I don't kill him and we go into combat, I could just run away then. And just leave here and maybe pop back in if I want. You know, we're very flexible with this giant. This giant is not scary to us. Despite what you might think. We are so quick and nimble that it's just not a big deal. So let's play out both options here. Let's just pretend that I alerted my bow. I'm ambushing this guy, and let's just take a pot shot at him. I would need to roll a 1 or a 2 in order to kill him. There you go. He's dead. He's fucking dead. He never had a chance. I just sniped him in the eye. So in that option, he dies instantly, and I get 8 more notoriety and 8 more fame, and he's no longer a concern, right? If I were to miss, we'd go into normal combat, I would become unhidden, and I would just use like my Elven Slippers as a move thing to run away because he's very slow with a 5 speed. And then I could go towards 1, I could go towards 4, it wouldn't really matter. And then my first action of the next turn, I'd probably move to 4, and then I would hide, and then I'd move back. I would probably double hide just to be absolutely sure, and then I would move back, and then the following turn I'd start hidden. I guess it wouldn't really matter. I'd hide again, and then I'd start looting, and so on and so forth. And we'd basically just dance around this guy until we finished our looting. He's really not a threat to us. Now, if other things show up, then it could become a concern. If the spider shows up in addition, we'd have to kind of hope that we snipe the spider. But overall, it's a very manageable situation. Alternatively, if I don't try and snipe him, and we just let the turn go by, then the start of the next turn, I would roll to hide, which I would succeed, and then I'd spend the rest of my turn searching. Really, either way. But since I managed to kill him on my first try with that roll, let's just say that he's dead. Let's say that's the option we went with, and that was my first instinct, to be a badass. So let's go with that. 8 more fame, 8 more notoriety. And then the next turn, day 7, we would roll this. Hide, search, search, search. We'd roll on the prowling table. It's a gray again, so we'd get another troll, or another giant. And depending on these loot rolls go, I might just leave it there. We got a 6, a 6, and a 4. So either way, nothing for us. Then the giant shows up. Let's play this one out as if I just didn't fire at him. I just let it lie. And I started my next turn with another HSSS. Quite a few of those. Let's start with the hide roll. That's a success. No problem. Then we do our loots. There you go. Top card. We get another piece of loot. The blasted jewel. So that's another great treasure. This one's heavy, though. So we actually can't carry this. It's a heavy one, minus 15 fame, 15 notoriety. It's worth 30 gold, so it's big money, and it contains a spell. So this would be great to sell if we could carry it, but we can't. So it gets abandoned in the clearing for someone else to grab if they want. All right, and then my third loot roll of the day. I need a 1 or a 2. I got the 2, so we get the bottom card, like so. It's the Royal Scepter. Here you go, baby. It's lightweight, so we can carry it ourselves. It's worth 8 gold, minus 15 notoriety to carry it. If you give it to the guards, sell it to the guards, you get 20 fame. And carrying it as an active thing gives you an extra higher phase. We don't really need that, but we are loaded with treasure here, so we're good. Did I even roll? I don't even know if I rolled this. Maybe I did. Did I roll a spider? All right, well, there I rolled a giant troll, which means that nothing else spawns. There's nothing else to spawn here. Where is my thing? There it is. Right. Okay. So we're still in this day, so nothing bad happens, and now we're just gonna skedaddle. We don't really want to go to the rogues because we don't have anything precious for them. We probably want to go to the knights at the order to sell this sacred grail. That's big. So let's make our way over there across the mountains. Also, we have a magic source. I could try to do that. That would be 5 would connect. No, that actually wouldn't help us. Okay. So we can't go that way because it doesn't work. It doesn't connect. It wouldn't make any sense anyway. We have to go across the cliff. So what we're going to do for the next turn, we're not going to bother hiding yet because we're just going to move out. We're going to go to Deep Woods 4, Deep Woods 5, and then Cliff 4. That's 4 movements. And we're just going to hope that nothing shows up that we can't run away from, which there's good odds. I mean, actually, nothing. No, I don't think. I mean, maybe. The odds are very slim of anything showing up that we couldn't run away from. So, Deep Woods 4-5, Cliff 4. Move Deepwoods 4, move Deepwoods 5, move Cliff 4. Okay, let's see what's prowling. Bats. Bats aren't a concern for us. Boop, 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 boop. We're doing there. Remember, this is a mountain clearing, so this is actually duplicated because it costs 2 movement. And let's reveal this. We got Dank and the statue. So the imp of the statue is something we couldn't run away from, but he spawns on the second clearing well away from us, and he doesn't spawn anyways, so we're fine. If Dank triggers and this summons this this third spider, we're entirely okay there. We can kill it easily without even bothering, so we're pretty good here. Let's move to 6 and then 1. Move CL6. Move. I'll put that twice. Move CL1. Move CL1. That's our turn. We can see what's prowling just to see if we get attacked by that spider. We don't. We end up here. We're not hidden anymore. Then we're going to move to 1 and 4 of the Awful Valley. And then we're going to trade and trade. So move. Wait, what did I say? Yeah, 1 and 4. Move Awful Valley 1, move Awful Valley 4, trade, trade. That's 1 trade to sell, and then 1 trade to see what they have to offer for buying. All right, so see what's prowling. It doesn't matter because we're not going to be anywhere. Yep, yep. Okay, so we're gonna sell. We're selling some stuff. We're selling the, well, let's look at our notoriety. We're definitely selling the Gripping Dust. We're definitely selling the Sacred Grail. We know that for a fact. We need 3 great treasures, and technically I only have 2. So we may not sell the Sacred Grail. Let me evaluate everything here. The minus 25 notoriety is big. Especially because this, which we plan on keeping right now, is minus 15. So I think no matter what, we have to get rid of the minus 25. I'm going to have to go out in the world and find another great treasure. That's not a doubt. So we can definitely sell the Glimmering Ring. It's not a great treasure. We're going to hold on to the Bejeweled Dwarf Vest. It's a lot of money, but it's one of our 3 great treasures we need. So that. Then it's a matter of, do I sell one of these 2 shoes? Overall, the Shoes of Stealth are better. The L2 is nice, but it's not like we don't have access to an L2. It's just... this lets you do it for free. I mean, they're both good. I don't know if I'd sell either. Yeah, I don't think I really need it. I don't think I really need it. So let's hold on to both and keep that. All right. So this is what we're selling. We're going to get a total of 30 gold and 50 fame. 50 fame is fucking big. So, 50 fame. There you go. And 30 gold. So now we're at 37 gold. This, then, these cards would go into the order's inventory. So other players could then buy those things from the order if they chose to. Then our second thing is we're doing a purchase. Fudge. That all got flipped. Okay. All right, so they're selling the power boots and the cloven hoof. Power boots can be used if you're light, medium, or heavy, so pretty much anybody, and it gives you a free H4 movement, which means that we can then carry, I believe, maybe I'm mistaken about that, I'd have to double check, but I believe we could then carry, no, because it's based on your personal weight, right? It's not based on your max. I'd have to double check that. So, but then what's the point of the weight anyways? Anyways. He can play it to carry items when he moves. Yeah, so this would let us carry heavy shit. So that's pretty great. We're probably gonna buy that. We don't really need to, but I mean, come on. The other one, the Cloven Hoof, is shit. This is immediately made public. Because it's an enchanted card. So that means that since it provides a magic source, it's an enchanted card. So as soon as this is revealed, as soon as this is found, wherever it is in the game, it's made face up and public. And that means that once it's found in face up, its effects are active. So it's an active magic source now for black magic, but also this other effect comes into play. For every roll made in the clearing as this item, so for now on the chapel, you add 1 to all dice rolls. So for buying stuff in the chapel, for trying to hide in the chapel, for hiring people in the chapel, it's all made with +1 to the dice rolls. So it's all shit. Forever. Until it's moved. You can buy this. You could buy this and then move it somewhere else, and you could dump it onto some other player's clearing where they're trying to, you know, if they're really involved at a campfire or something, you could just dump it on the campfire. But yeah. So that's great. So say we want to buy the power boots, which I kind of do. I mean, it's probably not a great use of the money, but money isn't the end of the world. It isn't the end all be all. So if we want to buy this from the order, we don't have any good relationship with the order, so we'd be rolling on the neutral table. We can, however, buy drinks for the bastards. There are 4 of them, so that would be 4 gold. And that lets us roll on the friendly table instead. So let's do that. Let's tick this down $4. So now we get to roll on the friendly table to try and buy these power boots. Because we're going to be adding 1 to all the dice we roll. So there you go. That's a 6, which means it's a no deal. Even though I bought drinks for him. This fucking Cloven Hoof is like just, it's like some Sith energy field that's just sort of penetrating their minds and making them less agreeable. So, no, they're not interested. They're not interested in selling this to me. And that's that. So, there you go. That's after 11 days. We have 64 fame. I think a negative... Actually, let me see exactly. This is negative 15. We have 9 plus... Actually, I think we're at 8 notoriety overall. So not incredible. We need another 12. But, yeah, so 64 fame, 8 notoriety, 33 gold. And we have 2 of our 3 great treasures we need. Not too shabby. I hope this has been an educational video to show you that even though the Woods Girl, pretty light, pretty weak, you hire 1 rogue to help you out, and you find a hoard of treasure in the right location, it can be pretty good. I'm debating about whether I should continue this game for you or start fresh with a different character to show how, you know, different things. Because at this point, you know, I think you sort of get it down. Or, you know, you're hopefully a little bit more knowledgeable if you've been paying attention. Maybe you're just here to listen to me chat about something that's incredibly nerdy. Either way. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I'll come to a decision next time. But alright, my name is Mangg. This has been Magic Realm. See you fine folks in the next part.